What is going on, Nuggets Nation NBA fans? My name is Tom Leuthner. Welcome back into Nuggets Today, presented by Fan Arch. I know that the quality is a little off. Excuse me. I am at work right now, but I'm trying to get an episode out for you guys. Got a little bit of a break here, so I just wanted to talk about a couple things. Something I was saying I was going to talk about today on yesterday's episode, and the first thing I want to bring up is just more of the Rico Hine runs and what I really do feel and how I think these players are going to play for Denver and things I've seen with these players. And the main guy I want to talk about right now is obviously Cam Johnson. He's a guy that Denver brought in to replace Michael Porter Jr. And there's so much hype around him, in my opinion. I think that the hype, and like I said, I think Aaron Gordon, my hot take was that Aaron Gordon will be an all-star, or it could be Jokic's first all-star teammate. I know that the speculation and the belief is that Cam Johnson would be that guy, but I don't know if I see him being an all-star caliber player. I know I've covered it a couple times, but I think his smarts and how high of an IQ he has in the game is going to be, it's going to allow Denver to just pick apart defenses. Watching him in the Hines runs, I liked what I saw. He looks like a ball handler, and it's great. Something I was just reading with Ryan Blackburn, he was tweeting, and he was speaking about the fact that Denver shouldn't go out and target a backup point guard yet, just because he wants to see what Cam Johnson could do as that, backup ball handler role first, and then maybe go and work a deal out for a veteran minimum for a point guard if that doesn't work out. But he looks good. In my opinion, I think that Aaron Gordon looks a little bit better. I think that AG just looks like he's doing everything. Cam is going to be great for Denver. I don't know if maybe I feel that AG is doing better because I'm more excited for AG and, just the hype around, Mr. Nugget. But I'm very excited to see what Cam can bring to the table. I think that, like I said, the IQ is crazy. He's not afraid to let the ball fly. You go watch his highlights from last year, 2 or 3 feet behind the three-point line. He's taking shots that MPJ would take, which is going to be great. I would like to see him at that backup point guard role, being able to dribble the ball a little bit. The next two guys I'm going to talk about here are also guys who I think that we may see handle the ball a little bit as well off the bench. But if he can man that second unit, if he could start and maybe they take everybody but him out and he's able to man a second unit, I think it could be massive because he's also a guy I feel like he could play the 2 through 4. If you, like I said, you want a bigger lineup, you want to put him at the 2, I think that works. If you want a smaller lineup and you want him at the 4, that also works. So I think Cam helps Denver. It brings them so much versatility. I also think that he looks really good in the offseason right now. And the one thing I will say, I think that the chemistry is boosted. I don't know. It's a little bit of a meme, but it sort of feels true that, Denver, the team was very separated with MPJ, and now it seems like they're all hanging out, and the chemistry is just fully built up. Maybe it's just a new guy initiation. That's something that Stretch brought up to me. Maybe it's just the initiation of the new guy where they want to hang out. They want to build up that chemistry because guys like Bruce already have that chemistry built. But, or it's just that they're more excited to have a guy who is more of a distributor and a scorer than MPJ, who they knew who was just going to take his shots. So I think that Cam, like I said, brings so much versatility to this Denver team. He is super smart, and I think that if he could be that backup point guard role, it would be massive for Denver to have a bigger ball handler. But talking about the backup point guard role, I do want to talk about Brucey for a minute. Now, Brucey, I think he's going to be playing a different role than he did in Denver the first year. I think that the first year he was just a 5-tool guy for Denver. He was, playing defense, handling if you needed him to, but he wasn't primary. A great defender. He would hit shots from the corner. He was actually a pretty good shooter with Denver the year that he was there for the championship run, and he was a guy that helped Denver take that next step to become a championship team. And I think that he still is that guy, and I think that the role is going to be that backup point guard role as of right now. He's also, he was at the Hines runs, and I liked what I saw. I saw you watch him, and you see a lot of playmaking. You see a lot of scoring off the dribble, which I feel like we didn't see much of when it came to his first stint in Denver. I think that we saw more of him standing at the three-point line, waiting for a dish out, hitting a three, playing great defense. I feel like there wasn't much of him, doing a 2-dribble move, a tween, or whatever it is, between the legs behind the back into a mid-range jump shot. But to see that is nice. I think that we may see a different animal for Bruce. I don't think that statistically he will be, stuffing the stat sheet, but I think that when it comes to the eye test and really watching the difference he makes, it's going to be there. I think that if you watch every Denver game this year, the games that he may miss and the games that he's going to play, I think that we will see a Bruce Brown that's going to make a difference when it comes to being a pest defensively, being able to dish the ball at the point guard, but maybe being able to score off the dribble. Like I said, if we only see 5 points from Bruce and we see a steal per game, 3 assists, I'm fine with that because defensively he's going to make a bigger difference than anybody even thinks. Because when you're thinking of a bench guy right now, you're thinking, okay, this guy needs to come in and put up 10 points. That's what Tim Hardaway is there to do. Realistically, you want a bench scorer? Tim Hardaway is going to be that guy for you. You want somebody that's going to come in and make a difference? You have Bruce Brown. He's going to be a defensive. He is a defensive monster, and I think Timmy's not a bad defender. But like I said, you need some bench scoring, and you have a guy like Julian Strawther, and I think that Julian Strawther can be a massive piece for this Denver team. It's somebody he's somebody I continue to talk about and I continue to boast about and continue to hype up and say how excited. I don't know how much of an opportunity he's going to get this year because we know that Tim Hardaway is going to be that role. But he was also at the Hines runs, and him taking those threes from deep out. I mean, his shot is so fluid, and the momentum that he gets coming up from his jump shot is beautiful. I think he's a spark guy. I think that his confidence of letting the ball fly is so good to see because I think that's what CB dealt with a little bit earlier in his career, that he didn't want to let the ball fly as much. And I think that Strawther would come into the games and he didn't want to shoot. And then you see him coming in a playoff game, one of the biggest moments of the entire playoffs, and he's the spark that won Denver the game. Now you can do that, and there's not going to be as much pressure on him because when he comes into the game with that bench unit where a guy like Russell Westbrook's not going to shoot the ball, and if he does, you're not worried about it. He's going to come into a lineup with Bruce and Tim Hardaway, who are two guys that can shoot, and they could shoot. And now there has to be one defender on him. You can't throw guys at him. And if you do, it's a pump fake into a Tim Hardaway shot, maybe download a Val. You have Val at the top of the key who could shoot. You have Deron Holmes who could shoot. So I do think that Strawther could play a major part in this role. It all comes down to the opportunity he gets, which I don't know how big of an opportunity that will be, strictly because of how deep this Denver team is. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is Nikola Jokic is coming back to Denver. Maybe not right now. He will be mourning the loss of his Eurobasket loss of with Serbia against Finland. Something that you hate to see. I mean, everybody wanted Jokic to come in and fully dominate, coming off a championship with Serbia, but I think there might be more of a chip on his shoulder now. I also think that there was a lot of talk about, maybe Denver's GMs and, Kroenke was there to scout somebody and bring in a backup point guard from Serbia. I think that them losing eliminates all possibility that will happen. I think that they may have thought about that. If Serbia would have won the gold, Denver may have looked into bringing in a backup point guard from Serbia. But I don't think that we will see anything strictly because of the first round elimination in the elimination bracket of 16. So I don't know. Like I said, I think that there might be a chip on Jokic's shoulder. He's going to be coming back most likely and training with the guys very soon. So you will see a lot more chemistry being built up. And maybe we see a change of game plan for Jokic and, how he wants to play and how he wants to dominate. But like I said, I think that eliminates any speculation or any opportunity for somebody from Serbia to get a contract with the Nuggets if it's not Nikola Jokic. Anyway, that is all I got for you guys this episode. I will have another episode out tomorrow. Enjoy the football games if you are watching football today as well. And like I said, that's all I got. Hit that like and subscribe button. If you guys want me to cover anything, let me know down below. I will see you guys tomorrow.